Shh. It's that time, y'all. Time for Big Boys Boxing.
If you think I'm a pussy, I'm a punk, you tell me right now. Because listen, I am the baddest nigga you ever fucking meet.
So that'll give a bit of energy. It's good night. It is all over in the 11th round.
Kia ora team, and welcome back to Big Boys Boxing. So it's official, the second time round. Dereck Chisora and Joseph Parker will be getting it on in London somewhere on the 1st of May. Now it's a little bit hard to get too hyped for this fight. I went through, yes, this fight's happening, it's getting closer to the time. We had the gloves are off, came out between Chisora and Joseph Parker, and then Joseph Parker got bitten by the spider and had to pull out of the fight. He was not allowed to fight, he was not cleared to fight. It was nothing to do with Dereck getting to the States, they having their one-on-one for the gloves are off, and then Joseph pulled out because he was scared. Like Dereck Chisora said, it was nothing to do with that. He was not cleared to fight by the doctor, simple as that. And if he was scared, I don't think he would have turned around straight after his last fight and pretty much said, I'll take the fight straight away. But anyway, Dereck Chisora can keep going on with his Australian chicken line that he keeps coming out with. It's not going to get too many bites from anywhere because everybody knows the reality of the situation that happened. But anyways, it still is a good fight. It was a first time round, it was a good fight. Second time round, it's still a good fight. Dereck Chisora is 32-10. He's got a fair few losses on his record, but in almost all of those losses, he had entertaining fights. His most recent loss is his last fight against Alexander Usyk. He lost that on points. He's taken losses to Dillian White twice, we've seen. Tyson Fury twice, we've seen. He took a points loss to Edget Cabial. Those are his most recent losses. And in a couple of the cases, it's controversial. The points decisions, lots of people think he beat White the first time around. Lots of people think he beat Robert Helenius. So, you know, it is what it is. Dereck comes to fight, he's always action. And this is one of the reasons why he keeps getting put on pay-per-view cards. He might not be the guy who's going to beat world champions, but he's certainly going to give them a run for his money, and if he's going to go out, he's going to go out on a shield. So big ups to Dereck Chisora for the action he's given us over the years, and this is a very important fight as well, not just for Dereck, for Joseph as well. Joseph hasn't had any decent crowd pleasing wins since before he was a world champion. He had his couple of losses, points decision loss to Anthony Joshua, then a fairly close points decision with controversy about a headbutt early in the fight against Dillian White, and since then he's had like 5-6 wins against mediocre competition. He did fight a ranked fighter in his last fight in Junior Farr. They were both ranked fairly highly with the WBO, but in all reality, Junior Farr didn't really have a lot of a chance in that fight, and he knew it. That's why he jabbed and grabbed and stuck the place out all night. If he hadn't have done that, I think he might have got knocked out, but hindsight's a wonderful thing, you know. So Joseph's got a quick turnaround from that fight, and he's jumping straight in with a world level gatekeeper in a fight which he must win. if he does not win this, he's going to be set back at least another couple of years before he's potentially going to get another go at a title. If he wins this, it's likely he will be able to fight Joe Joyce or Alexander Usyk. If that fight happens, he might get to fight the winner. There's a lot of things that could happen with that Joe Joyce and Alexander Usyk fight. Usyk won't sign the contract at present until the undisputed fight between Joshua and Fury is actually signed, sealed, like it's going to happen. At the moment, the contract is signed, but they still don't have a venue, and there is a time limit for that contract to run out. When they signed it, they had 28 days to find a venue, and if that doesn't get signed, then Usyk wants his title shot. So, if Usyk and Joyce don't fight, then there's a possibility Joseph could end up higher than Joe Joyce in the rankings. There's a possibility that he may end up in a final eliminator to fight whoever the champion may be at the time. But if Joseph loses this fight to Dereck Chisora, who has 10 losses, I think it's all over for Joe. At least for world title contention. It doesn't seem like he's going to be fighting well into his 30s. We will see. I mean, Joseph said that he was only going to fight until he was 31. He's currently 29, just turned 29 in January. I've heard people say that Joseph's up that age now. He's looking at 34, 35, but this kind of always happens to people who say they're going to retire earlier. And a lot's going to depend on what happens with Joe. If he wins this fight, he can make another run at a title. If he loses this fight, he's going to be still in the game, trying to get back to title contention for a couple of years before he's going to even get close. So this is a must-win for Joe, and I think it's pretty much a must-win for Dereck. He's getting longer in the tooth. I can't remember how exactly old he is. He's in his early 30s though, or mid-30s, so he's had a few goes, but it's all about the money for Dereck, isn't it? It's not so much about the titles. So we know Dereck is training with David Haye and is looking in very good shape in the ring when he gets there these days. He was in superb condition against Alexander Usyk, so there's no doubt he's going to be bringing the fight as usual. Something to think about though is Joe is under a new trainer in Andy Lee. He's now training in Ireland, and we're going to see whether there's going to be any significant changes to Joseph. In this fight, it's a quick turnaround, so he hasn't had much time to gel with his new coach. It's going to be interesting. But also, Joe has a little bit going on in the background. He conveniently left New Zealand the day before his name suppression came out. He was involved in a case where two guys went to jail for drug trafficking. They had some evidence that Joseph was changing New Zealand money to US dollars, and because he's wealthy, it wouldn't arouse suspicion. There was also some messages through Instagram, I think it was, Joseph talking to dealers about drugs. So he's got a bit going on in the background, and nobody seems to be talking about that at the moment, but whether it's going to play a part in gelling with his new coach and the publicity or lack of that he seems to be giving to the media because of this situation, whether it's going to play a part in him training for the fight, we're going to find out one way or another. So keep all that in mind. We'll see what happens. This is a pay-per-view show. It will be pay-per-view in the UK on Sky, and it will be pay-per-view here in New Zealand. I believe Australia, China also have pay-per-view. The rest of it will be free on DAZN across Europe and in the States. So that's how you can watch it. I'm assuming down here in New Zealand it will be on Spark Sport, like the last fight for Joseph Parker was, against Junior Farr, pay-per-view down here. But all in all, it's an interesting fight. I'm looking forward to it. Just finding it a little hard to get a bit hyped for it since it's the second time round. But I will give an official prediction closer to the fight. But by all means, I think this is a great fight. Dereck comes to fight. If he ain't getting knocked out, then he's probably going to get knocked out or lose on points. For Joseph, it's going to present more opportunities, but also a hell of a lot more pressure and a lot of a dogfight from Dereck Chisora. So it's going to be interesting to see how he deals with it. I'm looking forward to it. Bring on May 1st. Just over a month to go. Let's get it. So let us know your thoughts in the comments below. We can get some conversation going. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up if you've enjoyed the video. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And I will catch you in the next one. I'm Jono from Big Boys Boxing, and I am out. See
Subscribe to Kiwi Box. That's the one. Yeah.